Day one of the 30-day grip challenge. There's a couple of things I've got to do before I can sort of kick into the workout. So the first thing I've got to go and do, and this is totally unplanned by the way, I've got to go and have my hair cut. And again, this Osmo Pocket 3 is completely new to me. I only got it 2 days ago. So I thought, again, this is another really nice opportunity to sort of take it out of the house and try some of the little different settings within inside of it. So I hope you enjoy. All right, haircut done, looking sharp. Time for a little bit of pre-workout and then I'm going to get into this first grip session. We're pretty big on the ghost pre-workouts and stuff. I'm not a fan of caffeine or tons of caffeine in pre-workouts. I prefer like the pump, versions of pre-workout, to be honest. So I've got Ghost Pump. Does such a good job of focusing in this camera. And then I'm going to have like half a scoop of the new version of Legend as well. Because if you have a full scoop of this, natural caffeine, whatever the fuck that means, 300 milligrams. Fuck that for a stick of chicken. So I'll try and get less than half a scoop. I definitely don't need 300 milligrams. Scoop of pumpy, because why not? When in Rome. I'm going to put a little bit of hydration stuff into this as well. Still not eaten yet today. So I'm also going to have just a little bit of Vitago in this bad boy. Just have a few carbs to work out on, dead simple. Really looking forward to this first grip session. You'd think I'd never actually used my Captains of Crush before. Crazy. All right, a bit of water. Not tap water though. We use a company called, I think you pronounce it Fox, P-H-O-X. Just gets rid of all the nasties in the tap water. Helps it taste a little bit better. I think that particular filter system actually adds magnesium back to the water as well. So I'm just looking at what the camera's doing now and I'm thinking about how I'm going to set this up, in on the desk for actually recording me gripping. Don't know if I need to set it a little bit further back in the office. But before that, quick bicep check. Oosh. Looking good. Thanks for the angle, camera. And listen, pre-workout, if it takes you longer than 20 seconds to drink, I don't know, I'm not going to call you names, I'm joking. But it definitely shouldn't take you longer than 20 to 30 seconds to down your pre-workout. People have gone about like the taste and stuff, and really, it's there to just produce a particular result. If you get a nice tasting pre-workout or, supplements as well as, Brucey bonus as far as I'm concerned. Sweeteners. Awesome. So, let's take a look at what the framing's like in the office for doing this bad boy. Maybe about here would be a good idea. I apologise if, I'm not making the most cinematic videos for you right now. It's going to take me a little bit of practice. Might actually look better without these LED lights on that I use on my work desk. Might look better with the curtains open. I'll just roll with it for the time being, just for the ease of making the video. So how do I? So I always take my wedding ring off and I just put it next to my laptop when I'm squeezing metal objects because I don't want to do any damage to it. Elaine did buy me some rubber, some of these like little rubber rings. I've forgotten who they're by. Botham's, I think. Pretty comfortable. This one's a little bit too small. What size is this one? A W? A 12. This one's a 12. This is pretty nice, but I'm not going anywhere. So let me pull the workout up on my screen. I'm going to follow exactly what I said I would do for today's workout. Day 1, 20th of August. So we've got 3 sets on the expand handbands, and then we move into the gripping and then the IM tug sets at the end. Perfect. All right, so let's get on with the warm-up. So other things that I'll add into the warm-up as well will be like just stretching my fingers, you know, stretching my forearms as well. I guess you'll be able to see this, you know, as I'm doing it. So I've got 1 set of 20 down for this. I'll just do this real slow, real controlled, trying to get my fingers out as far as I can. No rushing, because this is like the first thing, you know, I've done, you know, with my hands properly today. $19, $20, feeling nice. So yeah, before I break into the next set, I'm just gonna sort of mobilize my hands a little bit, I guess. Just sort of, sometimes just stretch my thumbs back, my fingers, and I'll just do this through the first sort of 3 sets of anything. And then sort of stretch my wrist, you know, in this fashion. Maybe just hold that. And then stretch everything backwards. And again, you know, do the same again, just hold that. And if you have two hands and 2 arms, and make sure you do both. If you have 3, lucky you. Just a little bit more stretching for you to do. You know, I was sort of saying in yesterday's video how I think my care for my hands, wrists and forearms is going to be really important over these 30 days because, like I say, I've never done this amount of volume sort of back to back on my hands, probably for good reason. This is the whole point of the challenge, and I guess this self-experiment as well, is to see what potential boundaries, you know, I can push. Are there going to be benefits, or is it just going to be downside? Stay tuned to find out. All right, so that's the white one. And then it just sort of moves up in thickness a little bit. You probably won't be able to pick up on, you know, the thickness of these bands, but they're like what you can imagine, you know, postmen use, you know, to wrap letters up in their little delivery sack. So the green one is just a little bit harder than the white. And I've got myself down to do 15 reps with this bad boy. Nice. When I first started using these bands and going in, you know, pushing in this opposite direction, like extensor work, it was really challenging. It was really hard, actually. And it's only when you start getting into it properly, you know, doing the extensor work, you really start to appreciate how much more whole is the only word I guess I could use to describe it, how much more whole your hands feel. Before I was doing extensor work properly, because I've had the expand handbands, this is my second set through this last sort of 20 years. I've not been using them at all, to be honest, maybe just sort of every now and again, maybe a few times a year at most. But I've been pretty religious with them, you know, in these past few years. And yeah, it's paid dividends in terms of just, you know, hand health, hand well-being, and definitely hand strength as well. So that's second set, so I'll just do another little round of stretching on this one as well. Maybe just throw in an extra different stretch. And this is so cool, by the way, just in between while I'm doing this, that I'm recording on the Osmo Pocket 3. I'm super grateful that my family got this for me. And just how, obviously you can't see this at your side, but it's just, there's a green box around my head where it does like the face tracking. So wherever I go, the little gimbal on top just follows me. So I'm sorry if I jerk and move around a little bit, it might make the video look a bit choppy, but if I move slowly, it kind of dances with me. It's quite cute. But yeah, the footage, I've been watching a lady called Tamara Gabriel. She's got a YouTube channel. She's from England, from the UK, and she does tech reviews. And I'll just close my office door. You might not even be able to hear that, to be honest, but that's my wife just shouting to the kids. But yeah, Tamara's videos have been super useful in just sort of understanding a little bit more about the DJI equipment. She's very pro DJI Osmo. I think it's the Action 4 and then the Pocket 3 are the two sort of main bits that she uses. But she has like these little guides that she gives away, talking about what settings to use to make your footage look really good. So how I've got this set up right now is based on most of the settings that she talks about in her videos. So if it looks good, go give her some props, and I'll try and remember to mention her in the description of this video as well. So the only other stretch I'm going to add in on this particular round is just sort of elbows up and then rolling my fingers forwards and backwards, and almost like pushing down, so into my palms and then down, and just hits my hands in a different way to what I can get when I was doing the other ones. I'll just sort of roll backwards and forwards like this. Oh, that's good. I feel like I'm going a bit OTT on the warming up and the stretching. And I don't know if that's just a bit of a mental thing for me right now, as I'm the 30 days, how are my hands going to sort of hold up? I'm just going to open the window a little bit more. And you do spin all the way around. Hello, cute camera. I'm just going to open that because it's getting really warm here in the office. So we've got one more sort of band set to do on yellow, which is a little bit harder, and then we start moving on to the actual sort of Captains of Crush stuff. I also feel a little bit, I don't know if nervous is the right word, apprehensive, sort of recording myself properly and documenting it. Maybe there's something inside of the committing to this thing for the 30 days that's maybe playing inside my mind a little bit. 12 reps. Yeah, this is good. I remember, just again, getting nostalgic about these bands. I'm going to be called a nerd in so many of these videos, hopefully. But I remember when I first got my first set of bands, however many years ago, and putting like even the lightest ones on, like these, the green and the white that I've just used before, and going, oh my God, how am I ever gonna work up to having hands that strong? And now I can push my hands all the way open with these, and it's like zero stress. It feels really smooth. Really grateful that I found, training my hands to be so exciting, to be honest. The amount of people that I meet, through just day-to-day life, and then people that we work with, I start chatting to them about their hand health. And for a lot of people, it's non-existent. I've lost count, so we'll do one more for good luck. Yeah, I feel like this is just going to be super beneficial, to stay on top of my hand and grip training as I get older. Whether I'm still doing videos or this type of thing, when I'm in my 60s and 70s, who knows? But, if it turns out that both of my hands drop off, from training them all these years, then don't follow my advice. Or if it turns out, I've got the grip of a gorilla you know, in my 60s and 70s, then hey, you know, I've kind of proven some of my ideas and concepts to be true, right? A little bit more stretching, nothing crazy on this last one. And then I'm actually going to put a bit of chalk onto my hands. For some places, I think when you go for certification on the Captains of Crush, you can't use liquid chalk. But because I'm in my office, I've not set up to do this outside today. I'm going to use liquid chalk, not because I want to cheat or anything like that, just because I don't want to make an absolute fucking mess, you know, on top of my carpet and you know, all of my tech bits and bobs. Nothing fancy. Had this for quite some time actually. It's the My Protein. Is it supposed to focus on that thing? I don't know. My Protein liquid chalk. Pardon me. A little bit goes a long way, but that doesn't stop me from lathering it on. All right. Yeah, I definitely need to change the angle of this camera for next time. It's not high enough. I can definitely see it's like it's cutting up is the angle. In fact, is there something I can put it on now rather than later? Let me have a little think. Is that a better angle? Don't know. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so I'm on a guide, a COC, Captains of Crush guide. And they've all got either letters or numbers. Oh, it's not gonna focus, is it? Because it's focused on my face. But this has got a G on it. So I've got myself down to do one set of 15 reps, both in standard grip and reverse, which is basically going this way around. So I'm just going to get on with these because this is just a nice little, again, sort of warming up my hands and fingers. Hands are feeling good. Then into the reverse. So basically in standard grip, I can't count and talk at the same time. I'm not that good at multitasking. Standard grip, it takes your ring finger and your pinky finger to basically do the final part of the close. That's what takes the majority of the power. In the reverse, so with the legs facing upwards, it takes your index finger and your middle finger. So I've incorporated some reverse into the first three sort of grippers, just so I'm trying to keep my hands, you know, as balanced, you know, and healthy as possible, basically. There we go. And then I'm onto the trainer afterwards. So I'll get that one out and get it ready. Yeah, I think that's a better angle. The only thing I can see on the screen right now is because I've got like these LED panel lights for when I'm doing my Zoom calls with, you know, our clients. So I can see there's a big fat shadow sort of behind me on the wall. Although you can see Leo, which is quite nice. But again, I'm trying to make these videos as easy for me to make, number one, and number two, to edit. I don't want to be spending hours like doing loads of fancy stuff. I just, you know, that's the idea of getting the Pocket, is so I can just turn it on, mic myself up and start recording, and for it to look really nice, you know, be stabilized and just be great just straight out of the camera, to be honest. And that way it means I can just have more fun recording the thing that I want to talk about and the subject matter, rather than trying to be the best video editor in the world. All right, what have I got myself down for here? So got myself down to do one set of 12 reps in standard and reverse. Very nice. So the only thing I would say right now about doing if you go to the Google Doc in the description, I'll try and just put the link to the Google Doc, inside of every video that I do for YouTube, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But I've color coded, like the bands are red. When I'm doing the grippers, it's green. And the IM tugs that I'm doing next. The only thing that's like ever so slightly different to what I normally do is I'm doing a couple more sets of reverse in a higher number of captains of crush than I normally do. Good. Nice. Hands are feeling good. And I think I'm on to a number 1. So that's a half. So not that one. And then a number 1. Awesome. This is nice. Like day 1 almost feels like a bit of a gauging point, with what I'm doing with my programming, through the 30 days. But yeah, after this another single set of 10 in standard and 10 in reverse on the number 1, I'm then on to 3 sets of doubles, just in the standard grip. I'm not doing any reverse on the number 2 today. I think that'll just be number 1. Pardon me, sorry. I can't remember if I've ever actually done number 2 in reverse or not. So I'm just going to leave that alone for today, since it's session 1. And then just a few sets on the IM tugs. And I've actually got 12 minutes until I've got a client call, actually. So I've got to make sure I get through these sets and reps and then at least wash my hands. All right, 10 reps in standard. That's good. That's good. And reverse. You horrible bastard. That's actually quite hard. It's good though. I could probably do more reps, but yeah, that's a cheeky little pump right there. But that's good. This is a little bit of what I need today. That's good. Cheeky. That's good. I enjoyed that set. That was nice. Yeah, and that's why I've just thrown those reverses in. That's kind of exactly how, in my mind, I thought it was going to go, to be honest, was 2 really good warm-ups in the reverse and then using that number 1 to get 10 in, again, just for that extra bit of conditioning those top 2 fingers. I think that's really going to pay off. So we're on to our number 2 for 3 sets. So we're going to do the doubles. If I do run out of time, I'll have to come back to doing the I am tugs maybe a little bit later. I've only actually got 10 minutes at this point, but we'll see how we get on. Yeah, forearms are feeling thoroughly pumped at this point, which isn't a bad thing. I don't mind that, in all honesty. I think one of the little sideline goals for these next 30 days as well, call me vain, but you know, we all train for different reasons, right? Obviously for the gains in the actual grip strength, but also, you know, see if I can maybe add a little bit more size, you know, to my forearms as well. And maybe a little bit more hand growth. So yeah, just gonna do 2 reps for 3 sets, just in a standard, and this is the number 2 captains of crush. I think I mentioned in yesterday's video actually about my number 2, how I remember the first time, again I'm going back to maybe when I was 16, 17, something like that. I remember putting it in my hand, you know, completely unknowing, you know, to the world of, you know, proper grippers, just thinking, what kind of behemoths are putting this in their hands and closing it? That is crazy. And now I can, for a little party trick, you know, do a few reps on this, which is quite nice. But again, we're not breaking any records today. Let's just do 2 reps. 1, 2. I'm actually left-handed, but 2. I'm left-handed, but I actually find I've got a bit more like brute force, a bit more like brute strength in my opposite hand. I don't know if that makes sense or if anybody else experiences that, but I definitely feel like I want to talk nicely about you. I want to talk nicely about my right hand because I don't want it to fail me, but I almost feel like you're a bit more numb. I feel like my left hand, my leading hand, does the more intricate things, writing, etc. And this is a bit more of a blunt instrument. Let's just have a minute or 2. I'll do another set. So funnily enough, I actually did, I can't remember how many days ago, maybe about a week ago now, I did a 3 rep set with my number 2. So I thought doing doubles today would be sensible. But that was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So I need to bear that in mind for tomorrow. Tomorrow's I've actually got a 1.5. So a little bit lighter than this as my finishing sets, but I think I'm actually going to lower the reps that I've put down. I've got myself down for 5 reps on the 1.5. I think I'll actually reduce that to 3 and just rely on a little bit more volume on that particular set. All right, I'm going to go for another set. That was better. I'm going to reset on this one. Good. So much easier on right hand. You definitely are a blunt instrument, right hand. All right, that's 2 out of the 3 sets. I've just got 1 more set to do. And then I'll be on to the IM tugs. Again, I'm not a really well-practiced YouTuber, you know, anything like that, by the way. And maybe I should have asked you at the beginning of the video. If you're still watching at this point, I think I've got to ask you to like the video. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Then leave a comment as well. I think you're supposed to interact with these things. I think it helps the videos get seen. And then if you're commenting, liking and subscribing, YouTube's like, this guy's pretty popular. We should probably show his videos to more people. And that's the whole idea of this channel as well. I'm trying to get more subscribers. I'm trying to get more people to, you know, watch my stuff. So if you want to help out, takes a second. Just like it, leave a little comment. You can either troll me and say horrible things, or you can say nice things. It's completely up to you. All right, last set, last double on the number 2. Definitely feel like this has been enough on this first session, if I'm completely honest. 1, 2. Right hand. So much easier. 2. Awesome. Definitely had enough of that today. Definitely don't need any more number 2 in. Yeah, that's good. So definitely mental note, and I'll make some notes against my training document. That was actually, I probably should have done, 3 sets of singles rather than doubles today. And I'm going to make sure I get ice my hands and my arms, because that was a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be, in all fairness. So I'm on to the IM tugs next. I'm not going to hang about and waste a ton of time. These are the IM tugs, so you get to train 2 fingers or 1 finger, or I'm going to do some pinching as well with these bad boys. So I've put myself down to do 1 set of 15 using these 2 fingers, and then also 15 reps on pinch. So let's get these in. So 15 reps. Very light, this one, in all fairness. That's good. And 15 on pinch. Thumb gains. Good, easy set, that one. And again, I'm making sure I'm moving up through, just like you would do, when you're lifting weights, you would start lighter and, work your way up to just get your muscles warmed up, get blood flowing, activate your nervous system. I'm doing exactly the same thing, here for my hands. So even though that was super light and super easy, I might consider dropping the number 1 and just using the number 2. I don't know. We'll see how my hand strength and stuff goes over these, over these first few weeks, I guess. So I've got myself down to do an IM tug number 2, 10 reps in standard and pinch. So again, I'm going to move straight onto these. Let's make sure I oil these. They're like a squeaky old bed. It's 10. Easy. Yeah, pretty easy. Could feel a little bit more force. Let's have a very a minute or 2 max, and then I've got 1 more set to do. Oh, sorry, 2 sets. Beg your pardon, on the IM tug number 3. So the next the next one up. And that basically for 2 sets of 8 in both the standard way that I've noted and the pinch. So 16 reps on each hand for 2 sets. And again, this is not necessarily the IM tug stuff that I'm doing now is not where I'm wanting to make a ton of progress, I'm just adding it in as almost like accessory work. So the actual captains of crush is like, you know, if you want to get better at deadlifting, you know, do your deadlifting, do your main sets, and, you know, work up through your weights, etc. That's like my deadlift. These bits around it, like the warm-ups, and then these, you know, the IM tugs, are just conditioning work. It's like accessory work for maybe the back or whatever else you're training that day. So yeah, number 3. This is a lot harder, actually. Why have I put myself down for 8 reps? Do you not like yourself? Yeah, a little bit harder. You can tell when the 2 fingers start to lose a bit of power and strength because the other finger kind of jumps in to help them out. There we go, that's good. Okay, a little bit harder, but you just need to stay coordinated. It's good. Awesome. Yeah, hands feel really good. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a matter of coordination and just sort of retraining that finger as it starts to get into the harder, you know, IM tugs to just not jump in and like spot its little friends, basically. Yeah, hands feel good after this first session. I think if I'd have done any more like top sets on the number 2 or moved to like a 2.5, I think that would have been detrimental, in all honesty, with how my hands are feeling today. And I almost feel like making sure I'm doing good conditioning work around like the main lifts, as in the, you know, the actual grippers themselves, is going to contribute almost more to any advancements or gains that I get than the actual work itself. Just because I'm giving my hands the ability to stay healthy and mobile and active and have blood flowing around them. All right, last set, and then I'm all done. Yeah, definitely just train that finger to piss off. There we go, I'll just tuck it like that so it doesn't jump in. Oh, definitely harder. That's good. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll tuck the finger behind so it can't jump in. Yeah, good. Nice. Very cool. That's the first session in day 1, done, completed. So I thought I would just ask my wife for some help with the recording on this one. So I'm just going to take the, we have a cool little lid that we bought off the ice bath company. Just makes it look a little bit sexier. It did have a wooden lid, didn't it, this ice bath? And then you've painted it recently as well. So I'm just going to do a couple of minutes. It's currently at 10 degrees Celsius. But like I would say, like I was mentioning yesterday, you know, if you're going to do a ton of, you know, grip training, work your forearms, etc., I think it's super vital that you do, you know, at least some contrast therapy. You can just get, remember, was it like a washing up bowl, or I can't remember, some sort of white container, and I just filled it with ice and water, didn't I? And then I was just going back to the sink that was full of hot water and just contrasting, so doing a minute or 2 in one, a minute or 2 in the other, and it would just force blood flow. Everyone's come out to see what I'm doing in the ice bath. But I'll just do a couple of minutes in here just to help with the recovery over these 30 days, because I think just after this first session today, I can feel it's going to be pretty brutal, you know, if I want to maintain you know, squeezing these hardcore metal grippers. And look, we've got rubber duckies in our ice bath as well. Is it picking it up on the camera? Well, these are all... Where are these rubber duckies from? Have you got them from all different places?
Yeah.
Yeah. Question is, when is Elaine getting in the ice bath again?
Question.
Good question.
Depends what she's getting in the full ice bath.
Well, that is a good question. Probably need to do some infrared sauna blanketing. Do people want to watch me sweat? Probably. There's probably some perverts out there that want to watch me sweat. Making grunty noises. Wonder what the audio's like whilst I'm sort of lent into the ice bath as well. Or if it's made it really echoey. Yeah, that should be enough. You can probably see hands are pretty cold now, so I'll just let them re-warm, you know, naturally, and that'll just help take any inflammation down that are on my hands, my, you know, my wrists, etc., and hopefully set me up to have a fresh workout tomorrow.